Hey, welcome to Cloud and Sec, a channel about cloud and cybersecurity technologies. In this video, I'm talking about all the cybersecurity related news that happened on the month of May. Everything here is public information, and you'll find all the links to the sources in the description of this video in my blog post. Let's dive in. So just before I actually dive into the news, this is a blog post. It was just published a few days ago, and this is what we're going to go through today. So I want to start out talking about the cybersecurity related news that happened in the Google conference, Google I/O. The conference happened at the beginning of the month of May, and in the conference they announced a raft of safety and security related news to their platforms. Some of these announcements are really important from an industry perspective and from a cybersecurity future perspective as well. Most importantly, the ability and the efforts that Google has taken towards controlling information trustworthiness. This essentially, they're pushing out ways for us to verify where specific image is coming from and where it was found, right? It's starting to go into and touch on an important concept of media provenance. So that's very important to see announced. They've also announced an enhancement to the Content Safety API, an API that Google made available to other providers, content providers, and social media providers, so that content is inspected and that no abuse material is shared on those platforms. That's very important. Next, I want to touch on passwordless. Google recently became, here according to themselves, one of the first major tech companies to enable passkey signing on their own platform. Essentially, they allow people to utilize passkeys to combine advanced security of two-step verification with the convenience of just unlocking your device. This utilizes a cryptographic key that is stored in your device and that's stored safely in your device, and that can only be accessed by biometric means in your device. Last but not least, there is another announcement from Google that's quite interesting, which is now the dark web scans for your Gmail address. So this is an exciting feature that was only available previously to Google One subscribers in the US, but now they're expanding this dark web report for your Gmail address with a Gmail account in the US, not just Google One subscribers. Will be able to run scans to see if their Gmail address appears on the dark web and receive guidance on what actions to take and to protect themselves. They'll soon be expanding this report to select international markets as well. So some very exciting news from Google here this month. Next, Microsoft held their very famous Microsoft Build conference in May as well. So Microsoft Build 2023, mid-month of May. There were a lot of announcements from all different kind of technologies that Microsoft develops. I would highly recommend you find the Microsoft Build 2023 book of news. That is a one page with all different announcements from Microsoft, everything in there. Right here, I'm looking at AI-specific applications that are, or announcements that were made at Build. From my perspective, there were very, very important announcements from Microsoft as well around content safety. So this is something that we just saw from Google as well, announced in May, but Microsoft made a similar announcement. Not similar because it's returning their own platform called Azure AI, but Azure AI Content Safety is now in preview. And it enables developers who use Azure AI service to build safer online environments. So what it does, it detects and assigns severity scores to unsafe images and texts across languages, right? So that helps businesses prioritize what content moderators review. It can also be customized to address organizations' regulations and policies. So that's quite exciting as well. This goes right in hand with Microsoft commitments to responsible AI efforts. At Build, Microsoft also announced something called Microsoft Fabric. Naturally, within the Microsoft Azure platform, you get to have the one platform where potentially all or most of your data is residing. But now with Microsoft Fabric, Microsoft is announcing a data analytics platform that runs on top of your data in Azure. So that data analytics is a suite of different solutions that now speak the same format, essentially. Right, so it goes right in hand with a lot of different announcements from Microsoft to create Copilot and generative AI that runs on a lot of different services and allow customers to create everyday AI experiences, essentially. But now with Microsoft Fabric, which is an end-to-end unified analytics platform, Microsoft brings together all the data and analytics tools that organizations need, essentially. That's what the announcement reads. What Fabric does, it integrates technologies like Azure Data Factory, Synapse Analytics, and Power BI into a single unified product, empowering data and business professionals alike to unlock the potential of their data and lay the foundation for the era of AI. Now, the full announcement will have a lot more details, and I will highly recommend you to have a look at it. This image right here pretty much explains everything that's included in the Microsoft Fabric announcement. And what's really exciting here is that one lake image here at the bottom, in my perspective, right? One data lake to be used across all these different services there. Important announcement as well for data engineers and AI researchers utilizing that. Last but not least, this right here is the book of news. It's available in my blog post, but it's very easy to find anyway. Really, what's something that I wanted to bring here to our attention is the media provenance capabilities that are coming to a couple solutions from Microsoft, the Microsoft Designer and Bing Image Creator. What media provenance capabilities will do, they enable consumers to verify whether an image or video was generated by AI. So again, taking very important steps towards an AI created and generated future that we are all currently living in, but we still cannot verify it. But media provenance is a very important effort into that front. Now, what's really important from this announcement here is that Microsoft naturally has been a leader in research and development on methods for authenticating provenance. Great. They co-founded Project Origin and the Coalition for Content Provenance and the Authenticity Standards Body, right? So Coalition for Content Provenance, Authenticity, C2PA Standards Body. So they co-founded these particular efforts towards media provenance. And these efforts and features coming to Microsoft Designer and Bing Image Creator, they will naturally make use of these standards by these standards body that Microsoft is part of, right? So sign and verify generative content according to C2PA standard. So very important fact and standard perhaps to be across in your organization. Next is Forrester's announcement about a new Wave report. This is Forrester Wave Infrastructure as a Service Platform Native Security Q2 2023. So this is a comparison of 8 providers of infrastructure as a service platform native security and how they stack up against themselves. This is a top of mind topic for business and cybersecurity leaders because oftentimes you have to decide on what platform you're going along, and when deciding a platform you have to understand what native security capabilities are available for each provider. This is where we get to Forrester's Wave Infrastructure Service Platform Native Security Wave. And this here is the official report from Forrester. It has the big 3 there at the top. Among the leaders, strong performers include Alibaba, and then Huawei and IBM are good contenders there, according to Forrester. The beauty of this report is naturally they go very deep into how each vendor scored against their own metrics, and they detail why each vendor was essentially scored according to their own metrics, right? So they detail and provide us feedback on why Microsoft was among the leaders and why Google was as well, and so on and so forth, right? So it's a good insight into what each of these vendors are doing in their front from cloud native security, and a good summary of what each one of them will most likely have for the coming months, right? So good reference here for everyone in the industry. Next, getting to a few technology news. There's one here which Microsoft announced at the end of April, but Microsoft announced a new domain to unify all their Microsoft 365 applications and services. That is the cloud.microsoft.com domain. So now Outlook.office365.com, todo.office.com, app.powerbi.com, designer.microsoft.com, all these different services, they all come under the cloud.microsoft.com domain, essentially. Each one of them might have other subdomains, but the domain will be the same for all of them. There are benefits to having one unified domain. Microsoft explains here that having this consolidated, authenticated, user-facing Microsoft 365 experiences into a single domain will benefit customers in several ways, right? So they explain that for end users, it will streamline the overall experience by reducing sign-in prompts, redirects, and so on and so forth. For administrators, it will drastically reduce the complexity of the allow lists required to help your tenant. So this year, something I'm excited about, because then it makes it a lot easier for us to create allow lists with these unified domains, right? For everything Microsoft 365 domain. Great way and great benefit for operators and administrators there. Microsoft then explains why they choose to do a cloud.microsoft.com. They go on to explain what to expect and when changes are gonna take effect. And we should all have a look at this document and understand future announcements soon as well for other services, as Microsoft also highlights in the FAQ. So this was a quick look at some important information that happened in the month of May for cybersecurity. If you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a dislike and let me know your comments down below. Thank you.